Welcome in everyone and welcome to the Cup of Tea channel. So we've just had the Blizzcon event this year, and with it we've been given some new information on the expansion coming up for late 2024, and additionally the Campfire chat going over some additional content coming for season 2 and some more information, or a little more information, coming for season 3. So without further ado, let's get right in. So obviously one of the main talking points of the Campfire chat was the new expansion coming to Diablo 4 in late 2024. This is known as the Vessel of Hatred. This is a continuation of the story with Neyrelle and Mephisto after the events of defeating Lilith. With the expansion, we are going to get a brand new zone, a zone familiar to Diablo 2 players known as Torojan, also known as Nohontu. And at Blizzcon, even though they didn't give us too much details or information on what's going to be coming with the expansion, they did show off some concept art and a little bit of lore and introductions for the new players of Diablo 4 of the zone. And some of the Diablo 2 players may recognize some of the zones, but this is actually going to be based 72 years after those events. We will also be facing new monsters and foes to slay, and additionally they're going to be introducing a brand new unique class known as Spiritborn. It did break my heart a little bit at BlizzCon when they said it's not going to be Witch Doctor. I was a Witch Doctor in Diablo 3 and I had so much fun playing it. I do hope in the future they may introduce or bring it in. Fingers crossed. But now we move on to the new content that's on our way very soon. In fact, November 7th, we're going to be having Malignant Rings. So you may recognize some of these affixes. As you can see on the screen, if you want to read a little bit more into detail of what they're going to be providing, you can pause the video and have a read there. But this is going to be 5 class unique rings. These will be obtainable by defeating Vishan. So you can specifically target unique farm these. And these will also be accessible on the Eternal Realms as well. And now our characters are going to be even more powerful than they've ever been, but it's going to be needed because we have a brand new bit of endgame content dropping on December 5th. So this is actually a seasonal endgame event known as the Abattoir of Zia. This is going to be providing you some new content in terms of like a dungeon delve, but instead of being tier 1 to 100, it's going to have 25 tiers, and with it you're going to get some pretty cool rewards. So at BlizzCon, they actually provided us with a diagram here of how they want their players to progress through this content. So when you complete your first one, you will earn a recipe which will allow you to craft a blood forged sigil, and then as you complete each one, you'll be able to craft the next tier up. And even though it's 25 tiers rather than 100, they're saying the difficulty ramp is going to be a lot steeper, so you're going to be coming in with a challenge right away. And not only is this going to be testing your skills, this is going to be a really good way to earn some good chunk of experience for those glyphs you haven't leveled up yet. And speaking of leveling up glyphs, once you've completed your first Abattoir of Zia, you'll be rewarded with a Tears of Blood unique Paragon glyph. This one, however, works very different to what your other ones would. So the others prior would level up to 21. This one can be leveled up to 210. So this is really going to ramp up that damage. But just bear in mind, this event will only be around from the 5th of December on for 6 weeks until the end of the season. Along with the Campfire chat, they also spoke about the quality of life changes they also made for season 2. But additionally, there is going to be another quality of life change coming in on the 5th of December. So this quality of life change is going to be affecting the occultist actually. So when it comes to enchanting your items, beforehand it would give you a couple of affixes when you try to re-roll, but you didn't know really what you could be offered for that item. With the update now, it's going to give you a displayed window showing you the potential stats or affixes to be offered. The discussion about itemization reworks was in the talks, but there wasn't any solid answer, especially in the Q&A. It was asked again, and they haven't really got a solid answer for us yet. They're still working on ways to help improve that, so that'll be something in the future to look forward to. And moving on to something a little bit different, we're actually getting a seasonal event coming to Diablo 4, getting a bit Christmassy, and this will be out on the 12th of December. It's going to be running for 3 weeks, and it is known as the Midwinter Blight. This event will be at the Fractured Peaks, and you'll start the quest over at Kiarushad, meeting a bard by the High Square. During this event, you'll be facing off against Blight Fiends. However, they've undergone a brand new look. They'll be known as Frigid Husks, and you will also be facing off a Red Cloaked Horror. During this event, you can earn some pretty cool cosmetic items and additional chance to get some loot as well. And now we're going to move on to the final discussion of the Campfire chat during BlizzCon, and that is to do with Season 3. There is no name actually yet for it, however we do know that the leaderboard system is going to be implemented at this time. So the way they're going to be designing this is through a fixed seed. The dungeon is going to have the same layout for every single person in terms of mob spawns, where they're positioned, shrine spawns if there are any, and affixes. And it's down to the player. You can either do this solo or in a group, and it's down to you to be scoring the highest score. When the timer runs out, that is when you will actually receive some loot at the end of it, but also at the end of the week, if you manage to push your time up and end up in the top 1000, those 1000 players will end up in the Halls of Ancients, where their name will be permanently remembered. If you're worried about what class to pick to earn a chance to get onto the leaderboard, don't worry too much because each solo queue is between each class. So if you are a barbarian, you'll be facing off other barbarians to get that 1000th spot. And even if you don't hit the end game, have that max build and you're pushing at the top end of those leaderboards, do not worry at all because anyone on any realm can still partake and earn some form of rank. And you can even compare your times to not just the world, but your clan as well as your friends. So even if you're not competing at the top end, you can still compete with your friends. And then at the end of the campfire chat is where we had our Q&A where the players could ask the developers questions. We had subjects such as itemization, new ways of farming living steel, and ways we could switch our builds and paragon boards. We didn't get really any confirmation for anything such as that. They just said they're approaching it and trying to work on different methods and they'll give us more information in the future. And that pretty much covers everything to do with the campfire chat over at Blizzcon this year. I hope you found this video super useful and informative. I also upload other Diablo content as well, so don't forget to like, comment and subscribe for more Diablo content. I also stream on Twitch as well, so if you want to see me streaming, drop by and say hi, and you can find me at twitch.tv/Cuppa__T. And until then guys, I'll see you in the next video. Take care.